Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Congratulations, Boston. You are green and flush and ready for another duck parade, and we are green with envy. You now have 18 NBA titles, 6 Stanley Cups, 6 Super Bowls, and 9 World Series titles. You have 13 major professional championships since the year 2000, and we have one in our collective lifetimes. And did I mention that we hate you? Even worse, the Celtics are everything the Suns are not. They are homegrown, they're deep, they're stocked with great defenders and three-point shooters, and they just parlayed a 64-win regular season into a title. So how do our Phoenix Suns close that gap? Well, they need their new head coach to create a connectivity that feels like super glue. They need Bradley Beal to be better and healthier. They need Kevin Durant to be as good as he was last year and a bit more engaged. And they need Devin Booker to be the best he's ever been, doing exactly what Jason Tatum did last night. In fact, did you hear after the game how Tatum talked about how nobody can talk bleep about him anymore? Did you hear the relief and the joy in his voice? Because that is exactly how Devin Booker would sound if and when he ever lifts the Larry O'Brien trophy. And let's all hope that he, more than anyone, will not be denied the next time around.
I think Bronny is going to go in the first round because I think that's going to be encouraged.
You think it's going to be encouraged by the league or by Clutch?
The latter. Encouraged in a way like, if this happens, then this will happen. There's a lot of Phoenix buzz right now. I'm just going to say it. There is. And I don't know if it's real or not.
Do you think Phoenix is doing it? Do you think Phoenix is doing it because it's what they want to do, or you think they're trying to mess with the Lakers?
Well, Matt Ishbia has the same media strategist that LeBron and his camp has, Adam Mendelson. So that makes me a little suspicious. But they seem really confident that he's getting drafted in the first round. And if you're Matt Ishbia and the draft sucks, and it's like, let's get Bronny. They're telling us if we take Bronny, there's a chance that we could get LeBron too. You got to think about it. Because I don't know how many more years LeBron has left, but it's 1, it's 2, it's 3, whatever. He was an All-NBA guy last year. And if that's your backdoor way to get LeBron to play for you on, for $2.8 million a year or whatever, you got to explore it.
That's Bill Simmons in a podcast you said Sunday night, Jarrett?
Correct, yes.
So very, very recently. Now, Gambo has already reached out and said, not happening! And Gambo gets great information. So there's a very good possibility that the Suns are obliging Rich Paul in being a leverage point for them. But I will tell you this, Bill Simmons is also very well connected, and the buzz he's hearing about this is very real, even if the Suns' motives can be debated in all of this. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, I want to play one more cut here. This is from Rick Carlisle, who was on a podcast last week, and they asked him about Bronny James, and it's interesting his response.
The 2024 draft, you have 3 second rounders. Will you be taking Bronny James at 50 or 51?
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and predict that he goes quite a bit higher than that.
Wow. Okay. Sounds like 36
I'm not
then.
saying who. I don't want to get. I've been fined enough this year during the playoffs.
All right, good.
So he says he's going to go a lot higher, and then he says, I don't want to say who. I've already...
Yeah.
Well, I think he probably meant he can say where he thinks Bronny James might get drafted. The second part of that is tampering. If he starts saying you draft Bronny James,
Right.
you get LeBron
Right.
James. And I think that's what he was trying to avoid. So let's go Suns. Let's go get him with that 22nd pick.
Again, and we all know that basketball people all agree that Bronny James is not a top 50 player in this draft. They all say that. Now, he does some things well, shot the ball well at the combine in Chicago. I'm sure he can play some perimeter defense for you, but there's nothing distinctive about his game. He wasn't even good enough to get on the floor in the fourth quarter of games for USC last season. So if the talk out of Clutch Sports is that, he's going in the first round, then that tells you one of two things. It means some team is going to mess with the Lakers and try to poach LeBron, or it means that they're trying to create a swirl of propaganda that will make the Lakers draft Bronny at 17. And again, I can tell you this because I got people who are with the Lakers. That is a powder keg in Los Angeles. The LeBron Bronny thing is a powder keg waiting to explode because the Lakers need players. The Lakers are built to win. In their minds, what they do is they win championships. If they subordinate themselves to LeBron, just so really? So this is basically a hostage game? You'll stay with us if we draft your kid?
Well, in a way, doesn't LeBron have some chips that he can put out on the table for? Has he already delivered a championship to the Los Angeles Lakers? Doesn't he have some chips in his bank account to say, hey, listen, I brought you a championship. Your first since Kobe Bryant. Can you not just do me a favor and draft my boy?
That would seem, I don't know if you can come out and say that. I think you can certainly imply it. And so this draft is going to be very interesting for that alone. In a draft in which I would venture to guess 95% of the casual sports fans will struggle to recognize 3 players taken in the first round of the NBA draft.
Yeah, or 2.
Bronny is more famous than any other player in the draft.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He is.
And Scott,
it reminds me of like when Tim Tebow was. He wasn't a top prospect, but he was more famous than anybody else in that draft.
The thing about Bronny.
I love Tebow, by the way.
Yeah.
Still do. I think he got a raw deal in the NFL. The
Yeah,
kid won.
For a quarterback who can't throw.
He won.
So
He
my
had a playoff
question.
win.
Listen, I loved his leadership. I really listen.
He's got a playoff win.
I
Very
love
motivational
everything
guy.
about Tim Tebow, so I'm not going to hate on him.
My question about Bronny, though, given the heart condition that slowed him down before his one season with USC, do we know that he wasn't on track to be a bigger, brighter star? Like, does he still have that in him?
That's a great take, Sarah. And that's what
It's a
I kept
question.
trying to tell those people that were getting on him last year. He was only scoring, 3-4 points a game. It's like the kid just came off a major heart issue.
Okay.
It's going to take some time to come back from that. So there is potential there. Problem for him is he's always going to have his father hanging. Like, is he just getting an opportunity because of it's his father?
Yes.
And after a while, they may give up on him if he doesn't develop. And he's got probably about a 24-month window of opportunity to prove that he's an NBA caliber player.
And you thought
when other players might get a little longer.
Yes. And you thought Caitlin Clark is having a rough initiation in the W.
Baby.
Can you imagine Bronny James?
Right.
Oh, baby.
And just to tie it all into your blast again, do you think the Suns need to make a big splash, like try to go for LeBron to even come close to Boston at this point, or can they do it without it?
I think everything we are hoping for, a brand new vibe, a brand new connectivity, a brand new big 3. I think we're grasping at straws, to be quite honest with you. I think it's a hope. I think it's a possibility. But is a new head coach really going to push this team into the level we saw the champions at last night?
It's about, like I say, it's about chemistry and culture. They didn't have the chemistry of the culture last year in tough spots, especially in those fourth quarters where they crumbled so many times down the stretch under the last regime. I'm hoping Coach Bud, first thing he addresses is that chemistry and culture issue, because they have talent.
Yeah.
They didn't have a connectivity. And that's the biggest thing that Coach Bud's going to be brought in here for.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.